Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and today we're going to talk about Birds of Prey. I know, the conversation just keeps on with this film, but now it's getting that home release onto DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K. And I'm going to be honest, I still keep getting comments, I keep getting people hitting me up saying that the naysayers were right and I look a fool, particularly for this video right here if you want to check that out. So I wanted to come on and say, no, that opinion is still not correct. So let's get in with the basics, shall we? Whether you loved the film, just liked the film, thought it was meh, or flat out hated Birds of Prey. The simple fact is, it underperformed at the box office. There's really no denying that, is there? We were all shocked back in February when it opened with a horrible $33 million opening. And to this day, Birds of Prey ended up with an $84 million domestic box office and a $201 million worldwide box office, though it only cost around $85 million to make. So overall, those numbers are not good and are by far the worst that the DCEU has seen to date. And actually, it's okay for us to discuss the fact that Birds of Prey underperformed at the box office. There are also just straight up bad takes. Simple as that. Well, let's get the easy one out of the way. A nose ring. Talk about the most asinine reason for the film underperforming I have ever heard. It's that Black Canary had a nose ring and US audiences don't take to face jewelry. And this is the person y'all defending. That's who said this. First of all, that nose ring is almost invisible, especially in the marketing materials. I'm sure everyone was just like, oh my gosh, look at that woman. She has a nose ring in. If you had polled people after they watched the trailer, I'm sure over half of them wouldn't have even noticed any character had a nose ring. Are you kidding me? The other reason that just doesn't come into play here is that the women weren't sexy. This one's a little bit more widely spread because, yay, incels on Twitter. But unless you're, well, this guy, or Grace Randolph in her trailer reaction, I've yet to see any evidence, any substantive arguments made for the fact that this movie sucked the sex appeal off the screen, didn't focus on turning the male viewers on, thus it flopped. You hear how stupid that is? If not, let's take a look. Let's start with Birds of Prey itself. The opening weekend audience was 54% male. So, more men came out opening weekend than women came out. Oh my, what a twist. It seems like their outfits didn't really deter the male audience who were interested in seeing it. Anyway, second of all, it got a B+ cinema score from that opening weekend audience, which was majority male. Imagine that. The guys who watched the film enjoyed it. Even with those outfits y'all think were just so unsexy. Let's just look at past female-led superhero films, shall we? Some might argue Wonder Woman sits in a nice middle zone that has an outfit that's attractive to men while still being empowering for women. We're actually going to just shelve Wonder Woman over here. However, everybody seemed on board that Captain Marvel wasn't trying to appeal to a male gaze audience at all. Boy, did that make the incels mad, didn't it? No skin, fully covered, no love interest. Guess what? Captain Marvel opened to 152 million, went on to gross 1.12 billion worldwide. So what are we talking about when we're saying that the marketing has to appeal to male sexuality? Let's take a look at a couple other female-led superhero films that heavily sexualized their female leads. Remember Catwoman, another DC property? Yeah, a sexy Halle Berry in a leather BDSM suit certainly didn't help that one now, did it? She looked great, didn't she? That movie opened up to 16.7 million, on its way to 82 million worldwide on a $100 million budget. How about Elektra? That one also seemed to pretty heavily sexualize Jennifer Garner as the lead character. Hell, they even threw in a sexy lesbian kiss in the film itself. That's sure to get the straight male blood boiling, ain't it? Well, it opened to 12 million. Ended up making 56.9 million worldwide on a $40 million budget. But isn't that interesting? Simply appealing to men by sexualizing your female hero doesn't equate to big box office. Let's also consider the fact that yes, we did get David Ayer's pretty sexy Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad. However, her iconic look is this. Quite literally a jester clown. Yeah, it's kind of tight, but so were the outfits that were worn in the Birds of Prey film. You tell me this is your kink? And of course, you're going to get all the people saying, oh, well, Elektra and Catwoman were just so terrible. But one, that's not the point, now is it? People are trying to still defend the fact that Birds of Prey flopped because they just made the women ugly feminists. So the quality of film doesn't really help or hurt that argument, because that's not what we're talking about. Now, we can have a great discussion about what happened when it came to Birds of Prey. So let's look at it all, shall we? Possible reasons Birds of Prey might have underperformed at the box office. Well, the trailers weren't all that great. Myself included, I know a lot of people who weren't jumping up and down about those trailers before the film was released. Not great trailers, well, oftentimes lead to not great openings. Also, that title, well, Warner Brothers themselves kind of admitted it wasn't great either. The full title being Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, way too long, way out there. When you couple that with the trailers, which pretty much only highlighted Harley Quinn, and then the lead for the title is Birds of Prey, something's not adding up here. They switched it around to be like Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, after a very disappointing opening. But if you're going to make a Harley Quinn movie, just call it a Harley Quinn movie. Don't give us this huge subtitle that didn't need to be there. The Birds of Prey themselves aren't nearly as popular as Harley Quinn is as a character. And you're not even advertising the Birds of Prey, so those that do know it are like, ugh, this isn't what I want either. Oh, it wasn't a great title. We all kind of forget the full title because it's just ridiculously long. And we're going to start making those comparisons, but it's coming off of Suicide Squad, which most everyone agreed wasn't very good. Yeah, the box office numbers for Suicide Squad were fantastic. However, when you look at all of the critic and fan scores, they are much to be desired. Rotten Tomatoes has a 27% critic score and a 59% audience score. Nobody liked it. Metacritic, 40% critic score and a 60% audience score. And then over on IMDb, the user score is a 6 out of 10. So, underwhelming. All of those scores are much lower than Birds of Prey across the board. But this was pretty much seen as a direct sequel to Suicide Squad. And as it plays in plot, it is a sequel to Suicide Squad in many respects. When you're coming off of a bad movie and then you give not so good trailers, well, you end up with a bad opening weekend. And one thing Suicide Squad really, really did well was awesome trailers and an awesome soundtrack that they highlighted amazingly well. We're all still singing Heathens years later, and trust me, you couldn't have escaped it, even if you wanted to, the year that the film came out. This film had heavy hitters on the soundtrack, like Halsey, who is pretty much inescapable on mainstream radio now, yet they chose not to release her song as a single, and went with much smaller artists to give the singles and videos to. I don't know, but in all, the soundtrack wasn't really pushed, it wasn't played on radio, and didn't really contribute. But the final point that you can really point to and look at is that R rating. I know so many of us, we love the R rating, especially when it comes to comic book films, because it has worked in the past for Deadpool, for Logan, or for Joker. So looking at Joker and to an extent Logan, a bit deceiving, especially when comparing it to something like Birds of Prey. However, Deadpool and Deadpool 2, great comp titles for Birds of Prey. The difference is Harley Quinn is a very popular character. She is very popular amongst female comic readers as well as female comic viewers, but also amongst male comic readers and male comic material viewers. But the main demo that this film seemed to be pushing for, whether it be from the advertising, from Harley Quinn as a character, it is a teenage female audience. This was aimed at a young audience. And then they turned around and put a character that younger folks love, stuck her in the middle of a rated R film. Yeah, we may love rated R movies, but in a case where you're really trying to get that teenage audience in, ugh, it's real counterintuitive to make it more difficult for them to go and see it. So yes, there's a lot of dialogue to be had. There's a discussion here to hash out on what happened when it came to Birds of Prey. But y'all can miss me with Grace Was Right in her trailer reaction. You can miss me with that incel Matthew Caddish on Twitter and the like, because they're wrong. They're wrong. Show me the evidence. Until then, no, you weren't right. And it's a sexist point of view. Period. So that's it. That's the video. Come at me, I'm sure you will. The comment section is right down below for you to do so. And come on, haters, hit that like button. I know you enjoy the drama. And if you support it, also leave a comment and hit that like button, because I love you. If you did like this video, make sure to subscribe so you're always up to date on my latest content as well. I love you all so much for your continued support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.